so you're having success writing. The decision to go and be an artist yourself was there any risk involved?
Sure.
So you can, I guess you can continue being a songwriter and do that as well and see where that goes.
A little bit.
So you didn't have to leave something to go to that.
Well, I mean, when I really started touring, I was in a band called the Steel Drivers, and I took, if we want to apply numbers to it and risks to it, I took because I was spending so much time on the road, not really burning up the earth, making money or anything. I wasn't losing money, but I took probably about a 40% hit in income from songwriting because I wasn't doing it.
Yes. These songs that you wrote were great, and they didn't. The people like I guess record companies and executives and so forth weren't coming to you and going, "Hey, notice you haven't wrote any songs lately."
No.
I'd really like to write a few more.
Well, I mean, I used to write a bunch too,
Yeah.
and I used to write, 2 and 3 songs a day, 5 days a week.
Really?
And so I had a pretty good stockpile
Yeah.
at that point. If I was going to liken it to what you're talking about with the racing experience, I am positive that you, having been a race car driver, makes you a better owner of a race car team because you understand things that you can't possibly understand unless you've been out on that track like that. I feel the same thing about. I'm much better at making records and doing my own thing because I've done enough songwriting for other people and even singing on other people's records or playing on other people's records. I've done enough of that I understand what it is maybe I do that is valuable or worth letting people hear, hopefully, I think I have understandings that you can't have if you just show up and get a record deal or if you have never written a song. I think I have understandings of things musically and that you just can't have unless you have that experience.
Has it always been country that you wrote?
I've written songs for lots of different people, but
is there like a genre that is out? Is there a different genre that you've wanted to write for, never thought, you just hadn't done it, or?
I've had opportunities to do, the only thing I have never done, just because I don't know what I can contribute to it, and I've had opportunities to do it, is like stuff in electronic music, but I've worked with rock musicians, I've worked with hip-hop musicians, I've worked with R&B acts, I've worked with all kinds of people.
Really?
And I love doing all those things. I also like seeing what I can contribute in something that people think is not my thing.
Right. Wow. They wouldn't expect to see you in that space.
And I think I've done a lot of that, if you really dig.
I guess going back to putting yourself in that space, was there a little bit of like, God dang, man, I want the full experience that you're having now, right?
No. I enjoyed that role.
Yeah.
And I only really took a big commercial country deal because a friend of mine that I'd known a long time was in a position to kind of offer me that, and he took me to lunch one day. I thought we were just going to lunch. He said his name was Brian Wright, and he said, "Hey, I'm curious if you would ever got to the end of the lunch. He's like, would you ever think about coming over here and making a record?" I was like, "Well, let me go home and talk to my wife about that."
Yeah.
And I got home and I said, "Hey, Brian offered me a record deal today," and I was like, "What do you think?" She's like, "Well, why wouldn't you do it?" And I couldn't come up with a good reason not to. So that's kind of where that started.
Dang.
Yeah.
How closely do you watch the charts? How does that matter?
I have done that before, but I don't.
So when your first song gets on the charts, you can't not, right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, as a songwriter, like there these services where you can watch real time. What things are doing, and that will drive you crazy, and you're just it's not worth it.
When you're writing your first song, your first hit that you sang that hits the charts.
Oh, I can't watch that either. I have learned not to watch it
by that
point. Why?
I probably know the answer, but I just...
the reason is because somebody will tell you if it does good, and somebody will tell you if it's gone. So there's no real reason to watch it. You just go do the next thing.
When you're making an album, and do you get involved, or does it matter to you which single gets released? Can you influence that? The record label go to you?
I can.
Yeah.
And the way that our agreement is we have mutual agreement of things.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of times it's just a discussion, and I have a really great. I will say I've been fortunate in that my label experience has been really great overall. They're always they'll listen. If I really feel firmly about something that may not be the easiest path for them, on a single. But also, if they have something they want and they feel really strong about it, I'll be like, okay, maybe one for you and one for me. Sometimes,
yeah.
You just got to pick your moments sometimes.
Yeah. Do you get nervous about an album release, as far as public perception, reaction, or has that changed because singles get out? There's a little.
I
bit
still
of,
love the album release. I'm very much believe in the album as an art form, and I like that more than I just like resting on a single necessarily. It feels like something that doesn't matter to the world as much, but I'm old enough; it still matters to me. So, do I worry about it? I want it to do well. I don't. Worry is probably not the right word. I definitely, very strongly want it to do well, and I want it to be well received, and I want it to. I want it to be as good as it can be within my own capabilities and everybody that's working on it. I want the best of myself and other people that are working on the record. That's what I want. And if we do that, I'm worried about how the other stuff goes is fine.
Who's gives you the most honest critic?
Oh, that's my wife all the time.
Yeah. Has she ever told you, hey man, that's not doing it. That's not it.
Oh, all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
And you got to work hard to be like objective and open to that criticism.
Yeah. I mean, that's the gig.
It's hard to hear from her.
Well, no, I'm used to it. But yeah, she doesn't let me get lazy on anything musically at all. Yeah. And even sometimes, there'll be things that we kind of let go. She's like, still didn't get that, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Super Bowl national anthem. That was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Did you know that it was going to have that effect? It's the national anthem, and it's been sang millions and millions of times, and by thousands of very good artists of all types.
Yeah.
Do you practice it? Do you make a couple runs?
Oh yeah, I practice that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I don't get nervous.
Yeah.
To play necessarily. That one, I was like, I'm going to make sure I'm as prepared as I can be for this, because that's I would have people ask me to sing the national anthem for various things. And I jokingly always said, no, I'll just do it when it's time to do it at the Super Bowl, and I just turned it down a lot.
Yeah.
And I do say now that I've officially retired from it as well.
Yeah.
Because, and I have to give credit to, and I'm not saying my version wasn't good. I think it was good, but all the TV editing that they did while I was doing it was just spot on. Everything that they did to make that moment feel as big and nice as it could, they did it.
Oh, yeah.
And they executed it flawlessly. So, yes, I prepared for that, and yes, I worked on that.
And that was genuinely nerve-wracking.
Genuinely nerve-wracking. I was live. There was no pre-record anything.
Like, I guess as you're going through that song, you're building confidence, and you're like, man, this is did you get in that moment, I guess, where you're like, it's a autopilot kind of thing? Did it happen and it's like over and done before you even knew it?
I do have a thing in my personality that the more pressure there is like that, it makes me focus more. And I think that I realized that I was doing something good in the moment. I don't know. I realized I was not messing up. That was my goal, was to not mess up.
Yeah.
Like not mess up the words, not flub a guitar lick or anything.
Yeah.
That was my goal, was to get through it to a degree that, all right, I executed the national anthem without insulting the national anthem.
Yeah. Did you have a moment to where you were like, yeah,
Well, I think the people that were with me and around me
they were backslapping and they
real
were
happy
like,
about
holy
it.
crap, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right. And then I could drop my shoulders a little bit and go, okay, I did the thing.
Yeah.
Let's go watch the football game.